Big game this weekend. Arsenal travel to the Etihad Stadium to take on Manchester City. It's going to be a tough ask, but after the 1-1 draw with Everton, could Arsenal sneak a victory? Let's talk some tactics. Okay, so the first thing to talk about is Manchester City. Let's look at the formation they had against Everton. So, they did get a goal against Everton. It was a well-worked counter-attack that perhaps had a little bit of luck involved, and Fernandinho put the ball in the back of the net. But one thing that has to be noted is a little thing that's going to change is Aguero's going to come back. Yes, he absolutely will come back. There's no doubt. I think Jovetic is a good striker, but doesn't play as well as Aguero does up there on his own. Maybe Jovetic will partner him. But with Yaya Toure away at the African Cup of Nations, I think that it's time that they give Frank Lampard a nod to start the game. I just think that they have a little bit extra when he plays in there. I would put him in and make sure Aguero goes up top on his own. I would push Silva out a little bit with Nasri and Lampard forward and have the same sort of formation that they had, or even go with a 4-4-2. But this is what I think is going to happen. And the reason why Aguero's come back, people might think, well, I don't think people will think what difference Aguero has. Everyone knows the difference that this guy has. But what he has around his teammates is something special. When you get Aguero up top, I've always talked about him. He's a small man. He's similar to Messi. His centre of gravity is low, but he's so good at holding the ball with defenders back to him because he uses his height to his own advantage. Like guys like Mertesacker will foul him if they try to tower over him. So what I think Manchester City will do is that they'll use their width. They'll use Silva, Nasri or Navas, whoever's up there, and keep the stability of Fernando and Fernandinho. But if you play Frank Lampard, he is one of the best players to have ever played the game. Yes, to have ever played the game at attacking at the right moment. And when you've got someone like Aguero who will either get the ball into feet or he'll spin off and make a run in behind if the ball goes wide and take this defender across, Koscielny, and leave Mertesacker susceptible to either picking up the runner, which he doesn't do very well, and Lampard can streak through the middle. Or if you're going to play David Silva, he's good at doing this as well. Trust me, Manchester City have options. But Aguero will take defenders and drag them everywhere. If he gets it to his own feet, in here, he'll either lay it off out wide, make a spin and run, and then when the ball comes across, there's no one better on this planet. They will come back with force, and I think they will bounce back than the game against Everton. They'll play well, but you're coming up against a harder opponent. The in-form Arsenal, they've got some struggles. They've got some defensive worries. Debussy, again, just dislocated his shoulder. The guy just can't get a break. Comes back from injury and he just falls out. But Arsenal themselves can't get a break because they're getting all these attacking players coming back. You've got Walcott coming back. You've got Ozil coming back. But then you've got Arteta out injured again, who's the sort of defensive structure in there. And now you've got Debussy out. So there's going to be problems. They're finally getting somewhat of a ritual at the back there, and then Debussy goes out injured. But let's look at their formation they had in their last game. So a comfortable win against Stoke, 3 goals. Which is definitely good to go for Arsenal. They're starting to get themselves back with Ospina in goals. I think he looks confident. So I believe that either Bellerin will come back or maybe Chambers, if he's back fit, will come in at right back. Mertesacker, Koscielny and Monreal. I think Ramsey might make an appearance back in there because I don't think it'll be comfortable without him in that sort of defensive midfielder role to try and play a little further back without Arteta being in there. But it's how you're going to accompany Ozil coming back and Walcott when you've got Oxlade, Chamberlain, Cazorla, Sanchez and Giroud. That's a hell of a lot of attacking players in there to try and worry about. When you've got Walcott with his speed, we do know that he came back well against Manchester City last year in the time they played against each other. So he's working hard to get back, as you can see there. But the thing with Theo Walcott is it's how to bring him back at the right time, because him, like all Arsenal players, have the tendency to come back a little early and get injured. So I would go with the same formation that they had against Stoke City, making sure to have 2 holding midfielders, because you're playing against Manchester City, you're not playing against Stoke. You need to be wary of the counter-attack. But it's about utilising all those attacking threats. So you know that Oxlade-Chamberlain is good at getting the ball wide. You know that he's good at driving at players. He's one of the best at taking players on one-on-one. So I've got to stick with Oxlade-Chamberlain in there. Cazorla is in a good run of form. I wouldn't want to mess that up and bring in Ozil straight away, because Cazorla does what Ozil wasn't doing before. Wenger is playing him in the right position for one. Playing him as a number 10 role, which Cazorla does so well, and make sure to spread the ball out wide. So stick to him in there. And you've got Giroud, who can attack from cross balls, which Manchester City conceded against Everton. One of the smallest guys on the field against Manchester City, Naismith, got in front and nipped the header in. Arsenal need to use this to their ability. It's not their way of playing. They like to knock the ball around and find gaps. But when you're playing against a team as strong as City in their own backyard, you need to think about getting the ball and exploiting their weaknesses. So you've got to get it out wide. And whether that is maybe using Theo Walcott because he's got blistering speed, but we do know he's better on the right, or pushing Sanchez up to play in behind Giroud and kind of go into a 4-4-2. And maybe if you want to bring on, put Cazorla in the midfield and maybe use Walcott or Ozil to go out wide. You've got plenty of options. Wenger has so many options in this game. However, I'm going to have to burst Arsenal fans' bubble, including one that is here in the office. I still think that Manchester City are going to have too much for Arsenal in this game. I predict a 2-1 victory for Man City at the Etihad Stadium. I think they're going to bounce back. Arsenal, if they win, it'll be a great upset, and all credit to them if they beat Manchester City at the Etihad. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. If you're watching after the game, let me know whether I was right or wrong. I had 2 out of 3 last week that was right. I'm going to go for 3 for 3 this weekend. Thanks again.